strangers feel.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. Ooh, and God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
Somebody gon' get to tell them that I'm coming. And you can tell them that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm somebody tell the world that I'm coming. I'm trying to tell the world that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and his beautiful friends. Good stuff, man. We got part 2 coming up here. Part 2 of Coach D's topic. That is, you're not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. But I got a special guest here tonight. We have a special guest here tonight. My beautiful, very beautiful cousin, Lishane. She actually dropped a question 15 minutes into the show, and things went with haywire. So it was a great question, great thought-provoking question, something that I don't believe in, and looks like she believes in love, and as well as the ladies, the rest of the ladies on the panel. And I want her to share her thoughts on her question. Again, I don't believe in love. If I love you, I love you, and that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So we're gonna bring the folks in real quick here. Actually, I know you guys saw the intro. The recovery book is out now. I released it, Taylor Kennedie Media released it this past week on the 8th, I believe that was. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, anywhere books are sold, the recovery book. That's actually the guide to the recovery book. The novel, got a couple of emails from some very faithful readers who's been following me for years on top of years. And they asked me about the novel. But the novel's March 2025 for the Romello's journey. So I know you guys been waiting on that book for so long. That's the 3rd installment of the 4 Horsemen book. And but I thought that the actual recovery book, the guide, is very important for people who's not as far in the recovery as I am. So just wanted to give them a little light to travel through that dark tunnel. So let's bring the ladies in real quick here, 1 second. Coach D, what's going on?
Hey there.
What's going on, Shan? What's going on?
Good evening. Hey, Coach D.
Hey there.
How's your week been?
I'm under strict doctor's orders, so I'm not doing too well this week. I'm not allowed to eat anything yummy. I had my blood work done, so my blood pressure was a little high, and my blood work came back a little off. So now she's got me on a monitor, and I gotta do my blood pressure every day, and not allowed to eat anything fun.
Welcome to my world. My world. Welcome to
I'll be
my
in your
world.
world quick. I won't be there long. I can tell you that.
We don't want to linger in your world.
No.
My world is beautiful. I like Shan. I always tell you, and I tell Urs and all those folks that I'm the finest guy with different abilities. The most. Now let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Look like Earth's pulling up the rear. She's pulling up there. She looks like she's ready to go. Let's get her, and then we'll get my beautiful cousin.
Hello, Mark. Welcome. Did you say you called me Shanna White?
What up, Slash? Oh my god. So so Lishane called me. She called me about 7 that morning. I guess she wanted to catch me before I get out to the gym, and it was still on her mind the day after the show when she asked that question. I thought it was a very interesting question, man. Very interesting question, and I find it quite interesting. And ladies, still, and I spoke with a couple of ladies after that. You guys have the similar mindsets, man. A lot of you ladies have the similar mindset of that in love thing.
Wait, what was the mindset though? Refresh my memory. What was that? What was our similar mindset?
Meaning, I love you. I'm not in love with you. I love you though. And to me personally, I believe that love is love. If I love you, that's what it is. That's what it is. So we'll tackle that in the first segment. We'll have Lishane give her thoughts behind that bombshell of a question that she dropped in here. So we'll get it going here. But hey, it was a great show last week, man. A real good show. Coach D's topics going for 2 weeks in a row.
But you didn't know it was going to go this direction, huh?
Isn't that something?
Have you talked to your friend who kind of sparked this whole conversation about giving things or having expectations of the wrong person?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She we had a come to Jesus moment, and she's like, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't be building up somebody who's 50 years old. At 50, you should be built up. I'm like, ma'am, we're not in the
build the bear. Okay.
Yeah, we're not flipping houses here anymore at our grown age. So yeah, she has changed her boundaries, looked at her standards and her requirements, and moved on.
Okay. What's going on, Urs? I see you over there. You're quiet today.
Hi, how's everybody?
Good.
Everybody's good.
She got the headset on and everything. Like you looking like a real pro there.
Yes. I made one of the bedrooms like an office, so I'm in my kind of office space.
Don't say kind of office. You're in your office space.
My office space. You're right.
In your office space. So good stuff, man. Real good stuff. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
So, Sean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ursula.
No. Is your person coming through too?
Yes.
Oh, she's here. Listen. She's family. Her grandfather and my grandfather are first cousins. Mm-hmm. Very first cousins. So, yeah. That's family. Okay. So, of course, she's gonna come prepared. We've already tested the mics and the cameras like 30 minutes ago. Okay. So, of course, she's she's in the background. I'm gonna pull her in a minute. I want to say hey to you folks first before I pull her in. Is that okay, boss? That's okay, boss.
Ursula, Mark is concerned about you. He says, hope y'all don't pile up on my old friend Ursula again tonight. I'm like, when did anybody pile up on Ursula?
So I really appreciate
that.
We
go also. I cut that tape for a reason for the promo earlier today. I want to get into that as well. I want to unpack. No, we're not going to talk about your situation, but I want to unpack what you said and how you said it. And I noticed that a lot of women be saying that he loved me, but he just didn't love me enough to. So I'm trying to figure out why do women stay like that when you know he don't love you enough.
No one ever's really going to love you enough. No one ever's going to love you. It's only one person that's really going to love. What is enough? No one's ever going to give you the only person who gives you everything and has limited expectations. And I apologize for someone who hasn't experienced this is your mother. That's mom.
True too. You're right. No, so let's get to the first segment. Let's get to the first segment.
You are the only person who will love yourself enough. Nobody else.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I don't argue with that. You're right.
Let's get to the first segment.
Let's get Lishane in here. See what she has to say.
All right, Lee. We have a bunch of questions.
Hey.
She's saying hello. Can y'all see her?
The
I
Gumbo
don't see
Talk
her.
Live
Yes.
is hiding.
She's the
That's
gumbo
it.
talk. I wanted to ask you, how do you go about starting to switch the other side? But I should have asked you that over the weekend. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Listen,
Much
man.
better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Much better.
See, I run a very, 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 very nice studio
Hey,
here.
cousin. Hey, cousin.
Hey, how y'all
What's
doing?
up,
What's
baby?
up,
What's up,
girl?
baby? What's up, baby?
We're
Do
good.
share.
So, Lishane, we had a conversation. You called me the next morning at 7, so it was on our mind. And when she
Right.
dropped that question, I was kind of surprised. I was like, "Wow, okay." So, what was your thoughts on that when you first posed that question?
Okay, well, from my point of view is I want somebody to be in love with me, not just love me. Because my definition of I can love you and walk away. But if I'm in love with you, my emotions, my feelings, because I'm in love with you, will allow me to stay with, and work it out and
Right.
try a little harder. Because it gets to a point sometimes when you're in a relationship, when you just loving a person, you be like, you know what, I love him, but I gotta go. Or I love her, but I gotta go. Because I'm not gonna deal
Right.
with it.
Right.
But if I'm in love with you, that emotions, make me wanna, like I say, try harder. Be like, okay, I
So,
want this person. I desire this person. I'm in love with this person. I don't just love this person. So I'm gonna try a little
so
harder.
exactly. So I get it. I get that. But as you know, I don't believe in the whole in love thing, right? Because if I love you, I love you. I don't have to. I just don't see the difference. If I love you, I love you. I love you unconditionally. I'm willing to work at it, willing to, take responsibility within a relationship, whether it be romantically, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a family member, whether it be anybody. If I love you, if I say I love you, that's what it is. So the whole in love thing kind of, I notice a lot of women say that.
I told you, like, in my opinion, it's the blueprint for when people are trying to figure out how to back away from a relationship. This is some of the words that they say, because they're really trying to trigger, in my opinion, I think they're trying to trigger that emotion in you that makes you want to do what they're asking of you. That's probably beyond your understanding or beyond what you want to do. And I think people use that a lot. It has been used by men, but I mean by women, but I've heard it used by men. I've heard it used by married men. A married man that I'm very close to,
Is
not
that
to
so?
me, but yeah, it's not to me, but to
Okay.
tell me about his wife. And I was loving his wife a lot, and I'm not going to get off into all of that, but
Yeah.
I thought they made a beautiful couple.
Okay.
I
Hey,
came
cousin,
from.
have you actually used that before, cousin?
What?
In your situation, like I love you, but I'm not in love you, but I got to leave you alone.
Yes, I have. I have
Okay.
loved someone, so I was like, I'm not dealing with that. But I love him. I love what he brought to the table to a certain extent, but he didn't make me feel some type of way. I wasn't willing to work it out with him because I just loved him, but I wasn't in love with him. Now it was somebody I met, I was in love with him. I'm like, okay, he was like, you're a little dominant. And I'm like, really? And he was like, yeah. So I mean, I listened to what he said because he did that for me. Like the doctor said, he brought the butterflies when I saw him. I didn't even want to eat when I knew I was
Okay.
about to, be with him. So I'm like, oh, this is a different feeling. I like this feeling. I wake up looking for this man text message, and it matters to me whether
Right.
I got it at night.
So for
That's
me,
not that real shit.
I see
That
that.
ain't that real shit.
I see that a little. I see it on the inverse, because to me, the whole in love thing, right, are those initial butterfly feelings, those things that they're not lasting, and it's that period of what did I say? Kind of that euphoric feeling where you're just all entwined into this person and you can't wait to be with them and all of that stuff. And honestly, that does die at a certain point. That dies down because you can't stay in. I don't believe, in my experience, that you can stay in that euphoric area for eternity, for the life of your relationship.
You
I
can,
believe- hold on
but you can, because I'm a nurse. I'm a wound care nurse. You can, but you can't. I'm a wound care nurse, and I have met a lot of older people who have been in relationships, marriages for 70 years, and it's like, how you still, like you can still look at your wife and be in love with them. It's like, yeah, I love my wife. I'm in love with my wife. She does it for me from the first day I met her. I feel the same way. Yes, during the course of time, we have been through some things and went through some things, but our love, me being in love with her, made me conquer some of the things that I couldn't deal with him or her
So
with.
I would define that as unconditional love.
Right. And that's the point I was getting to, because I think also, as I was saying before, it's really, when I said it's my experience, and it's kind of the opposite for me. I believe when you talk about love is an action. It's not necessarily, it's not a feeling. And so when you love someone and you're in a marriage or you're in a committed relationship, you're making a commitment through it no matter what. Like one day I was married before for a significant amount of time. There were times I didn't necessarily feel in love with him, but I loved him, and I was still committed at that time until we got to the point where we couldn't stay together anymore. But that whole initial feeling of being giddy and all of that kind of stuff, it kind of transitioned. Not saying, so that's for me, that's the whole in love aspect of it. And I don't judge my relationships or being with someone off whether or not I feel like I'm in love with them or I have those euphoric feelings of being in love. But that's just for me.
Yeah, and I get that. Well, for me, I want someone to be in love with me. And it don't have to be like you looking for my phone calls every morning or whatever. I'm just saying the difference between when I felt a certain way towards two different guys. I had two different emotions, two different feelings for these, two separate guys. And one, it was like, okay, I love you because you're a nice person. I love you, but you're not that person for me. You doesn't do it for me. And he didn't make me feel the way the other person. And I felt like I love him because he was a good person, but I was more in love with the other person because how he made me feel. That's how I felt. And that's just my opinion about that. And I'm like, okay, this is.
Yeah. And people will make you feel, and people will make you feel different ways. I think we have our opinions based on what our life experiences have been in different relationships. So for me, I may look at it a little bit more practical and not necessarily always lean to how I feel, because I believe that emotions are fleeting and they change from time to time and they're not constant. And sometimes we don't control our emotions the best that we should. So there are some things that I'll admit for me, I can be a little bit more practical about in when it comes to relationships, and not necessarily as emotional as maybe some other men or women may be.
Right. Let's get these comments real quick. So Slash talking about.
So Mark said, do the ladies run this mother? Has Sunday nights turned into ladies' night and ladies getting free before 11:30?
It's always ladies' night. One of them.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, you've always been welcome to come on. So
Slash is always, well, Slash, I've been knowing you 40 years. Everywhere I'm at is ladies' night.
So let's throw some science into this, because a lot of people get the word love mixed up with like. You're not loving everybody, you're liking a lot of people. So there's 5 stages of love. There's the very primal attraction. That's primal. There's no denying that occurs, whether you think it happens or not there, Trent. It's chemical, and it's how we as Homo sapiens reproduce with that primal attraction. Once you get past that primal attraction, then you get attachment, right? Then you commit. Then after you attach to each other, you commit. Then you go on. Then the love gets deeper, because love is an action, not a feeling. Then it becomes nurturing love, and then it becomes lasting love. A lot of people get caught up with love and like. Like, you can like a lot of people, but you're not really loving a lot of people. And the reason
got a question for you.
Because we have our attachments. Depending on how you bond, if you're a secure bond, you'll understand the difference between like and love.
Right. Absolutely. And sounds like to me what Lishane's explaining, she knew the difference between like and love because she chose where that she was getting what she needed from that guy who she loved. The other guy?
She wasn't getting from him. She wasn't getting from the other guy. She's willing to put up with
him. Meaning the guy that
No. I'm not one. I would never put up with anything. I don't care how much I love you or in love with you. That's something that I would not do. I am single for a reason. I promise you. Single for a reason. I will not tolerate anything from any man. If it does not bring me comfort or joy, I don't care how much I love you. I will not. Not me, ma'am.
It's out the door.
Not me.
Okay.
I got a question
So
for you.
I'm not going to tolerate anything, but I'm saying when I pose the question, that's how I view things, because I had a conversation once before. Do you want to be needed or wanted? And I mean, I guess I look at things differently, and I respect everybody for their opinion. But my thing is, me, like everybody's saying, is an action. It is, love is an action. So if a man's showing me and he's giving me action, and I fall in love with the act, his chivalry or whatever else comes that he shows me, and I fall in love with that, it makes me look at, and we have a problem later on in our relationship. It makes me look at things a little differently, and I might alter that because I'm in love with him, and versus to somebody I just love. I love you, I'll try, but I probably will try harder for the person that I'm in love with. That's what I'm saying. I just feel like when you're in love with people, you tend to give a little more versus to just loving them. Because I could love my car all day long, but if I'm not in love with it like I was in the first beginning, I might treat it a little different.
I mean,
that's just my take, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't equate love with inanimate objects, but I get.
I just use that as a
See, we got another question here. Then we'll go to the next segment.
Let's see. Slash said, let's keep it 100. Women fall in love based upon how they feel. Men fall in love with what they see. I don't know if that's always 100. That's 100. You can't use that as for everybody, because that's not necessarily always true. And I think men can fall in love with more than just what they see. I think we all are attracted based on what we see at first. That's the first thing.
Men do fall in love. Not to interrupt you, they do. They don't tell nobody they didn't fall in love. They try to really stay far away from it, and a lot of times they don't know that they're And what I have experienced with men. Not necessarily that I've even dated, but just ones, like I said, that I keep close, like just friends, just to, be able to have conversation with. They will fall in love and no one even knows what's going on. And the thing about that is they will fall in love. They haven't even told the person who they've fallen in love with that they have fallen in love with them. It's an emotion that men really haven't been, I guess, in a lot of ways allowed to even display, in a sense, because it's cowardly a little bit. I think it's not cowardly, but society in a lot of ways look at it as like cowardly for a man to express those type of emotions. So to suppress them. And that's, I think, why they handle heartbreak just as hard, because they're not really allowed to have these emotions displayed in so many ways.
So, excuse me a second. Hey, D, can you go jump over to Instagram? They got a ton of comments over there. They addressing you and everybody on my live.
Instagram. You have IG up?
I can.
And I want to say something that is so true, and jumping off of that and jumping on something, because I'm a single mother of a 14-year-old, and I'm going through that with him now because I'm a mother and I show a lot of emotions, and it's like you teach your son not to be so emotional, and I'm not doing that with my son. He has a lot of men that's in his life that telling him it's okay to be emotional. You're not, weak because you show emotions, but you have to find a balance. But that's the topic for another time. But I just wanted to touch it on. You're so right with that,
As a man,
get these men.
Yeah, as a man.
Go ahead.
As a man, you really definitely gotta know how to manage your emotions too, because it looks different. You know what I mean?
No, we're not. No.
Well, I mean, can I say more?
No.
Okay, I want to finish up what I was saying before we start taking a.
Come on, let's get to. We got to get to these other folks.
No, but I want to finish. I want to finish my train of thought.
Let her finish her thought.
So, men are conditioned in this. Well, let me say this: men do need to manage their emotion. They should. Listen, everybody's allowed to cry. Everybody's allowed to cry. I'm not saying you can't cry. I'm not saying that. But, it looks different with men than what it does with women. And I didn't make this rule. I didn't. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. We all experience being in the workplace. It's especially with our little brothers. It looks strange or different when we see them in the workplace and they can't manage their emotions and they start crying. Society do judge them. You know what I'm saying? A little different, than what they judge women. Like if a woman is crying, you get we get a little bit more subservient attention. But when
we're gonna transition from that, Urs.
Okay.
We're gonna transition from that. Just so we can stay on topic. We're gonna transition.
No,
but I get that.
As we all need to manage our emotions, but with men, they get judged a little bit more when they show those emotions. And I'm just saying, all of us, all of the majority, this panel is all women, and you look at a man different when he cry, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I get that. I get that.
I have to. Here's the thing: our community is toxic as hell. We only allow men to show anger, and that ends up with high domestic violence rates, high hypertension rates, high strokes, high heart attacks, because we're not allowed men to manage any emotion. Because no, we don't look at them differently if they're crying. If a man's crying, that means he's human, right? We need to stop with the nonsense of saying, "Oh, men have to look differently." No, they don't.
I'm not saying that they do.
They are human beings, and we have to stop with the toxic.
You say society is saying
right, and I don't think Ursula is saying that.
I'm not.
It is part of our societal. It has been part of our societal norm.
I'm talking in general. In general, unless I use your name specifically, I'm not talking to you specifically. We have to clear that up. Like you and Trent and Urs, you guys love to strap on shoes. I'm not talking to you. Right? In general, I said our society, that means in general, is very toxic. That's why we have so much generational.
Totally agree. But as far as when you say men, and I always say on the show, some men.
Yeah, you're right.
Some men. Yeah, some men. So it's some men don't, they struggle with emotional intelligence and everything going, and whatnot. Right. But some men are not emotional. Some men don't speak themselves or know how to even communicate. Some men.
Right. Earth, your night is coming to your aid tonight. He has said, I don't pile up on Earth, Trent.
We're not piling up on Earth. Listen, here's what I'm going to do from now on. If I'm going to pile up on somebody, I'm going to specifically say your name so you know.
Right.
Coach D. I directed that at Trent because Trent was cutting her off and not letting her have her moment to finish her thought. It's not about you piling up.
We need to stay on topic. Stay on topic.
The conversation. You said the conversation goes where it goes.
It's gumbo talk, sir.
That's what you told me.
You said to use my stuff against me.
That's what you told me.
The
conversation goes where it goes.
Ursula was just basically saying, like, going back to the love thing, that a lot of men probably don't show their and correct me if I'm right or wrong, because showing their emotions like women, for as being in love is, I guess, really
you know what society says. I'm not going to do all of that on this podcast, but you know what we say.
Society, but
honestly, women are the worst with it. Your men would be like, another man crying to a man would be like, say, bro, like, hey, toughen up or whatever. But I get it. They understand. And thank you. If they're really your friend, will, embrace it and say, hey, look, I've been there before. But a lot of times, like, a woman would be like, he started crying. And like, I can't do that. And it, they will say names like they, and so because of that,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you when you say.
Because of that, men suppress, and we just talked about the suppressing. Why men suppress the falling in love thing? Yes, cousin, you're right. Men suppress the falling in love because of the whole what goes with it. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying everything that goes with it. It's just
find different men, man. Because if he could, he would.
That's what I'm saying. Some men. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point is, I'm not gonna buy that part of that. Those cookies that y'all selling on that, I'm not buying that, because I know men who know exactly what love is and know exactly how to express that, and I know some men who don't know how to express that, who don't communicate well.
So let's unpack that there. Would you say that you were that man? So when did you become that man based on? I
always communicated. I've always communicated. I say exactly what I want. I've always communicated.
When were you? So you were always that vulnerable, open, transparent with your emotions and all of that with all of the women that you dealt with.
I used to write love songs, of course.
The love song don't mean nothing. R. Kelly wrote love songs, and he was still up there urinating on folks and
folks. I said that to say a point.
You said women he's with, not the ones that are there for a moment.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, for me, if you've had any type of relationship or interact, or you've had any type of interaction or relationship with them, whether they were the fleas or whether they were the ladybugs, I don't know. Are you saying that you were always that person? You always had that level of emotional intelligence and maturity?
I have. I'll be honest with you. I have.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go with that this one time.
But my whole point is, if I want to communicate something, whether I like you or not, I'm gonna communicate it. If I don't,
that's not the question. But that's not the question. That's not the question, Trent.
We're not gonna get on that, man.
No, we're not. But I am gonna make the point that the question is about the vulnerability part, because what Ursula and Lishane were speaking to were men being open about falling in love and being transparent about that. If I'm summarizing this right, so that's the part I'm talking about, is the vulnerability with unpacking all of that with the female.
As far as vulnerable, yes, I've always been vulnerable with women.
Okay.
With women.
In some sense, I'm gonna say, I'm not saying, I don't want to use the word defensive, and you know how I feel about you. So I'm not gonna say you're being defensive, but I'm gonna say that you recognize what I'm saying just as well as cousin do, because like we're saying, because you're conversating back on it, saying, but and I don't want to get off into it. But the bottom line is this show has taken a totally different route tonight because of men and them being in their ability or inability to be honest about how they feel. Like a lot of times we don't find a lot of times we don't, I'm sorry. A lot of times we don't find out how they feel until like 5 or 7 years down the line in the supermarket by the tomatoes. Girl, you know how much I loved you? Like, what? You never even
I'm agreeing with you. Listen. 1 second. Let me hold court here real quick. I'm agreeing with you. But I'm not gonna stand here and let you say that all men are like that.
She's not saying it's not all men. It's not all men. I'm not saying all men. I'm saying majority of the time they don't really tell it until like you find out, like I said, down the line when it's over.
So let me get on the witness stand since Shannon put me on a witness stand. And let me say this, right?
I'm speaking real facts.
I've always been open, whether it be a jump off or whether it be someone that I'm in love with, someone that I care about.
Okay.
I've always been open, whether you like it or not. Maybe not.
I love you. I really do.
This is only week 3 for me, so I'm gonna let you roll with that tonight, sir. That's good. Go ahead and live with that if that makes you feel better tonight.
Okay. That's
but
all I'm saying.
Even your cheerleader said, he says, I agree, Urs. It's very different for brothers, i.e. the Jordan crying meme.
Some brothers. I say that in some brothers. I'm just gonna say.
I'm just saying you got another male saying, there is.
I don't care if it have 15 males up in there saying it.
It's Slash though, so it's Slash.
You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying, Urs. But go ahead.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line. It's a fine line.
But here's the thing. Oh crap, my battery dying. Do they feel that it's a safe spot for them to be vulnerable?
Right.
That's the whole point.
D, I'm gonna tell you, it's a fine line, ladies. It's a fine line, especially with us. Whoever, if any of us, besides me and D, are raising or have raised a male child, it's a fine line showing them how to express themselves. It's a fine line.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old.
I'd be very careful because I'm all about making sure Xavier expresses himself.
Well, and it sounds like you are, because like you said, he have a whole array of how to make a girl happy. But I'm just saying it's a fine line when you're raising a male child, what we're feeding them and showing them how to manage their emotions, you know, because it's a known thing that they don't, society don't think that women, society judges, especially, you know, African American women when they're, you know, when boys are raised specifically by us. And I'm not saying something that someone told me. I'm saying what I live.
We're gonna circle back. We're gonna circle back on the topic.
Well, you good, you good. I think that's a good conversation to maybe circle back and have.
I be coming up with all of the topics lately. But
Mr. Epic, what would you like to transition to, sir? Because we don't want the viewers to think that it's just us tonight. So what would you like to transition to as the only person with the penis?
I've been known to handle multiple women, knock it off. But anyway, so let's go.
Yes,
so anyway,
it's time for me to exit the building.
I'm gonna take a second and process what just happened.
Stay. No, you stay. You family now. You just come on and stay. We might have some questions for you in a minute.
No, that's why I gotta exit the building.
Don't leave.
I wanna tell the truth.
She loyal.
Exactly. So I have to get off the line.
Lee, we really appreciate you coming through and explaining your thought process on that.
And so I think the takeaway is that you want someone to be in love with you, and you want to be in love with them to build everlasting love.
Yes.
Okay. And you want to be wanted.
I would rather be in love than just to love someone. You know, I want somebody to be in love with me. Yes, that's my energy.
I keep saying we need to do a dating segment on here. Like we need to find some single men, and we need to be able to do like a dating segment on here to help some of the female viewers. So
let me know when y'all do that, so I won't show up.
Probably so. But I enjoy you guys, and I will be listening to you. But I just got to get off alive.
Gotcha. I appreciate you, Lee. I love you.
Thanks for coming.
Love you too. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. It was nice meeting you.
Look, Mark said, "Hey, Mr. Epic, do you and Shannon White want to use the share mic?" What does that mean? What happened to Ursula?
Where'd she go?
Did she disconnect herself? Oh, there she goes. She's coming back.
So we're talking about you're not asking for too much, you're asking the wrong person. Let's talk about that a little more. Let's dig a little deep into that, right? When we talk about that, right? A lot of people think about monetary things. Again, the way I think about it, I wasn't thinking about just monetary stuff. I'm talking about emotional intelligence. If you're asking your partner for emotional intelligence and they can't give it to you, it's time to start looking for the exit door. After a few conversations and they still don't get it, it's time to look for the exit door. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Coach D.
And it's very simple things too. Like you live together in a house and the garbage can is full. Then asking somebody to empty the garbage can really shouldn't be necessary. If you're a grown human being, you see the garbage is full, you take it out. And a lot of people get put emotional labor on other people because they want lists of what they should do instead of being the grown up and doing what they do. And that's where, like, you're not asking the wrong thing. Like, asking somebody to take the garbage out who lives there and produces garbage is not the wrong thing. But that person who refuses to do it is the wrong person. Somebody else will see it and immediately take it out.
I have a
great point. Let's hover around this emotional labor real quick, though. Great point, because a lot of people literally be putting that emotional labor on their partners and have no idea what it is. So when you see your partner being frustrated and whatnot, he or she may not be able to communicate that you're putting all this emotional labor on it. Unpack it, Coach D.
Here's the thing. Emotional labor is when you force the other person to do all the thinking for you. Right? They got to make your list. They got to figure out, they got to remember where you put everything. You can't find something, they got to remember where that thing is that you can't find. That's emotional labor. Here's the thing, and I tell people who talk to me all the time, your wife is not interested in you? When was the last time you washed the dishes? When was the last time you put the kids to bed? When was the last time you gave the kids a bath? When was the last time you made her lunch? Well, I don't do any of that. She does all that. I'm like, yeah, she does all of it. What happened? The last time I talked to a gentleman, I said, the last time you went on vacation, your wife packed your bag, her bag, and the 3 kids' bag. She put the dog in the kennel. She made sure that security was coming for the house. She did everything. What did you do? You goes, well, I bought the tickets. Dude, no, I wouldn't screw with you either.
society find that very funny. You know, when a man says, "Well, I don't know how to do all that." That shit's not funny.
No, it's
That's
ridiculous.
not funny
I
at
want to
all.
say something. No, I want to say something. So listen. In a lot of cases, especially when being from a traditional household.
No. They're grown men.
I didn't get to say anything.
Go ahead, finish your thought.
A lot of times, me being from a traditional household, the way you start with a person is the way and the route that it will go. Now, I'm not a man at all, but I kind of have like in some instances, I want to say man ways, but like I'll think I'm like a man, right? And so if you ain't meet me like drawing your bathwater, don't be expecting some miracle to happen. Like I'm not doing the laundry. Me personally, I love domesticated things. I am a lady, so I love doing the laundry. I don't mind mopping. But if you ain't meet me doing that, don't come expecting that because we going on a trip. Like what? Meet me where I'm at. Damn it. This is what I do. This is what you met me doing. Washing the cars on Saturday. Right. I'm not swapping that up, and that don't mean that I don't love you.
It's kind of like the guys that meet the girl in the club and then they get mad when she still goes to the club. It's like, but you met me in the club.
Right. She like dancing. And that's a real situation, Shan, because I remember a long time ago, in my other life, I dated this guy. He was like, you be in the street a lot. And he didn't understand. It was a phase that I might have been going through where I was trying to get that stuff out. You know, in a lot of cases, when we first get married, especially when you're in your like mid-20s or whatever, you don't realize all of the duty sometimes that comes with being a wife. And that's just something that I don't know how you was raised, either of y'all was raised, but I know how I was raised, and I knew some of what my duties would be, but I was like, I got a different side of the spectrum because now I'm single. I don't got to answer. When I'm married, I don't have to answer to anybody really except my husband. So now I'm out here partying. Well, when I got a divorce, I party. But I was trying to be dating too, and guys would be like, you the club girl. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a phase for me too. I have to admit, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm out here,
and I ain't even a club girl.
It was just a phase. It was just a little phase, short stint.
It was a phase, and so guys told me like nobody's ever going to marry the club girl, and I'm like, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm not really gonna marry you.
Right? They need to stop. They need to stop.
So back on this emotional label. Back on his emotional label.
Yes, sir. Yes.
This is gumbo talk, Trent. We just
it is gumbo, but y'all go to land yapping. I mean, come on.
That's
everybody on the pot.
Mark has a comment. He says dishes. He says dishes. Ayo, Mr. Epic, did you also have dishwasher? I don't know. Is that an inside thing?
Well, listen, I'm going to throw a whole loop into all this female roles. Ladies have servants. They don't clean. They don't do dishes. That's what ladies do. If we want to be technical, because I had a gentleman. He goes, "Do you cook?" I'm like, "Why?
Right?
Why does that matter?"
I've been there, D. I've been there.
Was this a potential suitor that was asking you this question?
Yeah. And then he's like, "What do you bring to the table?" Ooh. I'm like, "Emotional intelligence." And he just looked at me, "What's that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And the end of the date is what that is.
I hate that question when men want to ask about what you bring to the table.
It's kind of like asking, like they look at when you go to the car lot, a man will be like, how fast does this car go? Like,
listen, what do you bring to the I have a friend who's generational wealthy. We're talking generations. So she went on this date, and this guy goes, "Do you cook?" She's like, "No, I have a chef." He's like, "Do you clean?" She's like, "No, I have household staff." And he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do for me?" And she's like, "Excuse me." And she's like, "I don't think we're on the same level here." I said, "You need to date in your tax bracket, honey." And I was like, "Did you tell him that?" She's like, "Yeah." And I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, I date whatever I like looking at." And she's like, yeah.
Wow.
I was like,
It's
if you
interesting.
can't
Now
feel
let's be honest. Let's be honest and fair. Some women think that's cute when their husband or their partner or whoever, their life partner, whatever you want to call them, don't know where things are. Oh, girl, I got to do everything for him. They think that's cute.
It's not cute.
Some women think that's cute, though.
Really?
There are some women, but I think I think a lot of I think we're a little different because even I'm like you, Ursula. I was very domesticated as a wife, and I still am. I enjoy cooking. Because I like cooking, and that's what I do. That's a form. That's a way. That's one of my. I don't want to say it's my love language, but if I cook for you, that's significant. Because that's something I enjoy. I truly enjoy doing that.
I want to unpack that real quick.
Would it be fair? Would it be fair to say that some women love needy men?
It could.
Yeah, because here's the thing: it makes them feel wanted. They may have some self-esteem issues and some worthiness issues.
Bingo.
Yep.
If you're not healed, you want to be in a codependent relationship where that you get your validation from somebody else.
One more time for the people in the back who didn't hear it.
If you're not healed, you will be in a codependent relationship where you get your validation from somebody else.
Bloop.
Which is why
what you want to unpack,
I was going to circle back and talk about when we cook and we are domesticated. Like, honestly, if you think about today's time, they have apps where you have to go and hire people for all of this stuff. The things that women have done in the past, I really honestly think it's been an expectation so much so it's unappreciated, And so I do know that. And that's where this whole topic comes from. Are you this level of love? How does it look? Are you asking the wrong person? You know what I'm saying? Because sort of us just being domesticated, like we know to cook, we know to clean, we know to take care of our family.
I really appreciate you circling back to the topic. I really appreciate it so much.
Okay, so you see I like that you're doing that. Thank you for keeping me on track. So we know to do that, but a lot of times it really does go like unappreciated. Like people don't recognize what it takes to cook. I often say like men don't appreciate. A lot of men don't appreciate when a woman is in the kitchen chopping onions. You know what I'm saying? They don't see her as that girl that can get cleaned up sometime. And it's almost. And I always go back to music artists. Now I'm getting off topic.
Let me intervene there. She froze up a little bit there. Let me intervene there real quick. When you talk about men and Ursula, she froze.
Not all men.
And she's gone. She'll be back though.
I'm still here.
You're frozen. You're frozen.
Oh, I was frozen.
You're frozen. Yeah, she's fine.
Y'all can hear me good, huh?
Yeah, it's Trent.
That was me. That was a hiccup on my part.
Who's your internet provider?
No, I'm good. I just have multiple things streaming here at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a studio.
I know. I saw it.
Streaming live in 175 countries. I'm just saying. But I'll just no. Let's talk about it. I heard the last thing I heard was you saying that some women, as far as cooking, go back over there because I want to say something there real quick.
So women, a lot, and majority of women have been raised to just do domestic duties like cook, clean, take care. We're providers, right? Mm-hmm. But when you think about it, it's so unappreciated in today's world in a lot of cases because people think almost like it's an expectation. And so it's unappreciated because it's an expectation in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying?
I can't
follow that.
I don't follow that because my father taught all my brothers, all four of us know how to cook.
And that's going back to your daddy also explained to you about managing your emotions. See what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I'm saying? Men in the household can't relate to a lot of this stuff. Sometimes. So right.
When you were married, did you share the household duties or how did you split this for you, Trent? Not as far as cooking, but I'm talking about cleaning. I'm talking about laundry. I'm talking like all this. I mean, did you?
We had someone clean the house. We had someone clean the house. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did all the cooking because she could not cook at all.
See,
And
you
I
don't
was
have to
cool
say
with
that though. I was gonna say you
But
ain't gotta say that though. You know I love
yeah,
you,
hold
but
on.
you ain't
Let me
gotta say that.
let me finish.
What?
When I had a conversation with my father, I was like, "Don't ever tell her you don't like her cooking. Just beat her to the kitchen first."
Let me tell you something about Southerners.
Mm.
I want to just tell you something about us. We gotta stop saying that about people because we really enjoy cooking. Like that's like
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
fishing to us.
I couldn't do a lot of East Coast eating and all that stuff. I couldn't do it. That just wasn't my thing. So just like my dad said, he said, "Don't never tell her she can't cook. Just beat her to the kitchen first."
Yeah, I
That's
like
actually
that.
good. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that too. That's a nice way
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Big Will
Not
was
very good
a very
communication,
good
though.
charmer.
Right.
I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
want to with that situation, and Teresa knows I'm telling the truth on this. I didn't even want her to try because she didn't cook.
Right.
She didn't cook, so I didn't want to even do it to her and like that. She didn't cook, so I just made sure that she ate well. So
You know,
when I
it's
wasn't
funny.
cooking, when we lived here in New Orleans before we went back to Michigan, when I wasn't cooking, Torrance would bring by the meals for the week.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey,
Yeah.
Marcus, thanks for joining us.
What up, Marcus?
He says, I cooked as a chef for 20 years. I don't need you to cook. I don't need you to clean. I was raised by women. I know how to do that too. What I need you to
Okay.
do is be accountable and apologize. Ooh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
That's
we
what I'm
went
talking
straight
about.
into accountable and apologize. So there sounds like
Sounds
there's
like you need to do some
there may
work.
be some stuff behind
And
all
you
of that.
Accountability.
apologize.
Accountability. Now, what that man's saying is some of them need to take responsibility for the toxic they bring into the party.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now Mark,
That's
this
what
is a
he's
good
saying.
question. This is a good question by Mark. He says the part B of this topic is: are you asking the right person the wrong questions? And has that happened to any of you?
It's not the wrong question if there's the right person. Because it wouldn't be wrong. There would be no wrong questions.
I have to marinate on that one. Think about
I like the question. Honest, thanks for saying that, Mark, because sometimes we just have to also be, again, that goes back to like everybody being accountable for like how they feel about a person. Look, I love you. I would love for us to work towards a expectation, that whatever the expectation is as a couple. And hopefully
Sounds
I'm
like
not
communication to
asking
me.
you. Right. And hopefully I'm not asking you to step outside of a zone for me that's not comfortable for you.
Right.
What if it's the right person, but you're not healed completely, right? And you're asking things of them or asking them the things that you're not appreciating or appreciating what's already in front of you that's actually wholesome or good for you. I'm trying to unpack that. I'm trying to think about Mark's question because I think there's some validity to it, but I'm just trying to make it make sense. So give me a moment. I'll come back to it if I get some better context for you.
Yeah. They might be the right person for you, but you may not be the right person for them at that time.
That could be.
Because there's a growth too. You could be on two different paths, and they could be like the perfect person for you, but you know,
Yes.
are they the perfect person for a relationship or the perfect person for a friendship? What are they the perfect person for? Not everybody is our person.
Right.
There goes.
Ladies, can I get in a little bit? Can I get in a little
Yeah,
bit?
sure. Yes, sorry, sir.
Okay. I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Nah, that was a great what Dee said about that, because you know we get stuck in these situations where we talking about as Ursula said, we thinking about the law of nature, and we get confused on certain things, right? And you forget that that's not your person because you're still thinking about the law of nature. I've done that a ton. I've done that a ton. I've attached myself to women that I thought was my person, but it was really the law of nature saying that, hey, that's your person right there. She got some good push. You know what I'm saying? But we get caught up in that. We still at this age, we still can get caught up in that, in the law of nature mindset. We really could when we think about it, right?
Yeah,
We
and
really
you know
could.
it's so funny because when you hear, and I've heard about women, it's like, well, men, some men at times it'll be like in their 60s and they still playing them same games that Romello was playing when you would in your 30s.
Absolutely.
Like it's like, and you keep thinking that age is going to make a difference, but it really doesn't. It's about whether you do the work on the inside to change to be better. So yeah,
I feel sorry for anybody still sleeping at 50 and 55 years old out here
There's
playing.
a whole bunch of my There's a whole bunch of my
there is.
Good luck with that. And my
Urs,
doctor
I think we know some of them.
Listen, let me good
Damn,
luck.
this ginger juice good.
Damn, that ginger juice is probably good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. You know what me and you talk about. I will say this. You could go to the casino and get, spend $1,000, $2,000 a minute. Time, you can never get time back. So when you waste your time on foolishness,
very true.
It's gone. It's gone.
Exactly.
There's so much
once
you can do with your time.
Once we reach the higher levels of ourselves, man, we shouldn't even be entertaining that type of stuff. Like certain things, I will not entertain. I don't care if she's fine. I don't care if she blowing, she allowed me to blow her back out.
You don't care if she cooks you don't care if she cooks, is bringing food to you every day, all that kind of stuff.
I don't care about none of that. None of that.
Yeah.
None of that. But my whole point is, so, I got distracted in my early years. Like when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, that's when I was distracted. Everything from that point on was on purpose. Meaning, if I wanted to mess over you, I'd mess over you. And keep it pushing.
Why? I just as a man, from a male perspective, why is that desire even there to just mess over women? Is it just because you have the options? There are options available to you, and you just
maybe mess over was the wrong word I said, but
no, but I mean,
just women.
Just in general, I'm just from the male psyche. Like, why is it that some men feel like it's they have no problem stepping outside of their relationships and things of that nature? It's like, is it because of availability? Because for women, and it's at least some women, that's not necessarily, we have options, we just don't act on them. But I feel like men tend to act more on those options than women do.
For me personally, I just had a healthy appetite for women. I just got to be honest and transparent about it. I love women. That's where I was with it. I just had a healthy appetite for them.
That goes back to that topic that we had about the multiple, just the way it is. Like men can have multiple women, but one woman can only be pregnant for one man at a time. Like, I hate that, but that's just the truth. And it's not, we didn't create it like this. We're just part of what was here before us. So that's why men sometimes probably move the way they move and think they can do that. I studied that whole why men do that, because I never, while I was married, the reason why I just walked away from my marriage wasn't because of infidelity at all. Men, and I'm not a man, but I studied a couple of guys. We would go round for years. And they even brought it back to Animal Kingdom. And I used to get mad. It wasn't until I raised a man. And then I started to study the man in his habitat and how it is. And we got 1 minute, Urs. We got 1 minute. Okay.
We got 1 minute. We'll get to the comments.
We have 10 minutes.
No, we don't. But it's 9:00 already. We're already at the end part.
Well, I want to say this part, like just sitting in the car with my son and watching him and how he look at women. And he had one person that he really loved, but he always noticed women, and it's just something innate in the man. And that's all I got.
Gotcha. So Marcus, we had comments from Marcus and Mark. Mark. So Marcus said, you're in the club on the weekend, but you're soaking your teeth in glass every night. That doesn't make sense. And then he said that's just the level of immaturity if you still messing over people and you're at a certain age and you just tell it, you can tell that's just a child's mentality. Mark said, case in point, you could be sharing different moon signs, different traits, values, and priorities, and you possibly just don't speak the same love language. So, and I don't want to get into this tonight, and maybe we can answer this question at another time, but it's more so for Coach D, because it just kind of brought up to me, is monogamy natural? And so it's kind of like monogamy, nature versus nurture.
Swans mate for life.
Who does?
Swans. There's plenty of cases in the animal kingdom where we mate for life.
Okay.
Right. Human. I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't believe in monogamy. I don't believe in cheating. Right, but I believe that you can have more than one person in your lifetime.
I agree with that.
At different times.
Yeah, because we are like who I was at 20 and who I was at 40 and who I am at 50 are three completely different people.
I agree.
If you can find somebody, like I met an older gentleman, he goes, I've been married once, but to 8 different people. Because they married right out of high school, and when I talked to them, they were in their 70s. And he said that we grew together, and she is not who she was then, but I still love her for who she is now. And people don't realize that we can change, and who we are at 20, the person we love at 20 may not be that same person we love at 40. We may have grown and they may not.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully you have grown. Hopefully you should be growing every day.
Yeah, so we got 2 after the hour. We got to get out of here. Kobe needs a walk. And
we had a lot of people came through tonight. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, hopefully I can get the microphone back next week. So hopefully I can do that.
I'm absent next week, y'all. I'm absent.
If you guys would allow me. But,
so last comment belongs to Mark. He says, "Yo, Mark, is check and trap for some is a lifestyle. Sometimes the venues change from clubs to brunch or day parties. That they do, sir. That they do."
That's all good. So what you guys got going on, man? So we could actually get out of here real quick.
Well, I think maybe you should take the last minute to wrap up here, because you just dropped a bomb on your page today concerning you released an excerpt from the actual recovery novel.
Yeah. Actually, I released an excerpt after I released the recovery book earlier this week. A lot of my faithful readers who's actually been following me for years, for a lot of years. I received messages. They were thinking that it was the 3rd installment of the 4 Horsemen book. You know, they wait. I've been having these people waiting for this the final chapter to Romello for well over 15 years. Well over. So I put an excerpt out there today for it because they thought that the recovery book was that book. But the recovery book is a guide for people in my condition who hasn't gone as far as I have, and just to give them a little light in the dark tunnel to help them get through it. So, but the actual Romello's journey, March to 2025. So it's there and it's ready, but I'm going to give this recovery book, a little steam, to go. So I appreciate everybody who actually bought the recovery book. We did pre-orders on it, so I really appreciate that. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target. Anywhere books are sold, you can grab the recovery book. Okay, ladies.
Thanks for writing that book.
I appreciate that. I thought it was very important, man, to do that because, living independently with a different ability, it can be tough, man, if you have the mental toughness, man. If you don't have the mental toughness to get over certain things within this recovery, that can be detrimental to a person. That's why it was very important for me to give the readers a guide. That's why I put the other book on hold, the recovery book, the return of Romello, the journey and all that stuff on hold, because it's filled with a lot of tea and drama and all the stuff that Romello still was going through within his recovery. So, that book's a real good book. Real good book. I sent the excerpts out and you guys check it out on Facebook and whatnot. But it's a real good book. But I thought the recovery book was very important to get things going for this different ability, this new path that I'm on going forward. So I'm all about medical fitness and health and mental health and everything in between. So that supersedes anything else I've ever written. So really appreciate you guys. Coach D, what you got?
I'm just getting through the week. I'm tired, so I'm not feeling well.
I know. I hope
I
you
know.
feel better. Get
Yeah.
get through the not so fun food.
I will survive. We'll get it sorted out, but I'm just not feeling good. I'm not feeling good tonight for some reason. We'll figure it out. But I hope everybody has a fabulous week. My prayers and thoughts go out to everybody who are affected by the hurricanes. Make sure you vote. You're registered to vote. They've been doing some stilling. They've been pulling people off some voter polls in some places. So
Absolutely.
make sure you check your registration. And if you're a black man and you're not voting for Kamala because she's a woman, we need to have a conversation. Because some of y'all got some nonsense going on.
Good stuff. Well, you get some sleep. We're gonna stay here for a couple of seconds. But good, you go ahead and take care.
Bye.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Bye, Coach
Okay,
D.
I'll talk to you
Feel
tomorrow.
better.
Okay.
Right, Coach D. I hope you feel better.
And I just want to say, as far as voting, early voting starts October 15th, so it's only a couple of days away. So
absolutely.
Save yourself from having to be standing in line for long periods of time. Go ahead and early vote. There's no excuse.
Exactly.
So what we staying on? What we staying on for a few minutes for? What we doing?
Because I feel like I just wanted to maybe touch the mic tonight. Just a little.
It's your stage. Go ahead.
I'm teasing. Nah, but we were talking about the as far as what the topic goes, right? The wrong person. We all know when we have the wrong person, those red flags pop up. But as Earth's always saying, that law of nature supersedes everything when that's where you're thinking from, whether it be a penis or a vagina. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. So you guys know the red flags. You just ignoring the red flags. You continue to negotiate with yourself. It's not a good thing. It's not healthy.
It's really yourself.
Pretty rainbow. The red flags look more orange to you than red. You try to make them look more orange than red.
Right,
well,
right.
And I really could unpack all of that. Like I said, when we talked about asking the wrong person for things, you may grow up one way and you wait for your person to mature to be the way that you grew up, not recognizing that they're never going to be that way because that's not how they grew up. You know what I'm saying? And so do you have to manage your expectations? It's a plethora of things you can walk through, but at the end of the day, you really gotta manage your emotions, how you feel, how what you looking for in someone that it may not never come. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we're in our own heads a lot too about the people we're with. I think sometimes we get to a place where he should be doing this. We should be here. This should be happening. And in honesty, you just never know what a person have going on within themselves. Like,
Slash got
doing their work or whatever.
Slash got a comment in. And actually, we're doing a little gumbo talk after the hour. So I'm gonna take.
What do you call it? Is this the lanyard? What do you call it? The lanyard or lanyard?
We're doing a lanyard power. We're doing a little.
Is that what this is? Okay. He says some of them
extra. We're giving a little extra.
Oh, he says some of them show up dressed in a small red flag fit in a small.
Yeah.
Lishane is back. She's back in the section. She's in the car.
Good stuff.
And look, I'll be the first
and talking with us, Lishane. We appreciate it.
I'll be the first to say, I remember when I hate to get off and talk. I'm gonna use somebody else. I remember me and my good friend would talk about this guy that she married, and she's like, when I first showed up at his house, she talked about how she saw a vehicle on side of the house that was wrecked. You know what I'm saying? And so in her mind, she was like, he got in a fender bender. You know what I'm saying? But as the relationship progressed, you know what I'm saying? He showed characteristics of an alcoholic. So
sorry, y'all. The topic is getting a little spicy in here. So sorry, I'm getting
red flag. So
so when she saw the vehicle wrecked, you know what I'm saying? She probably breezed over the drinking and all of that because
you know what I call that?
Huh?
You know what I call that? That's
Immature.
rose-colored glasses. It's
right.
immaturity, but it's rose-colored glasses, and
it's true. It's rose-colored glasses, right?
And nine times out of 10, when situations like that take place, man, we've actually made the decision after the sweat dried.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we go back to that fuzzily feeling. Oh, it's the beginning. It's all so, unicorn and rainbows, like you say. But once the paint dry,
Yeah.
it's not where you should be. You know what I'm saying? And
We've all
unfortunately,
been on that road.
yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it's a whole act to sell later.
So
Exactly.
Lishane said, let's talk about the power of the female stuff.
You know what? She did say that to me earlier in the week.
But I mean, yes, it's a great.
You know what? I got a great idea.
To have. It is.
I got a great idea.
What's your idea?
Let's talk about that topic after the conversation, after the business, because I can't be doing that and mixing the blend of the two with the business. And
I like that. I think you should open up a whole different.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
I want to talk about that too. We're gonna talk about it now.
So that could be. Can we make that a show? Being either
we can talk about it right now. Let's talk about it now.
Wait.
That's too. No, that's gonna go.
Kobe's ready to go. Hey, I told Shannon when y'all see Kobe, when you see Kobe do this right here,
he getting attention.
Man, time is up.
No, he ready to go. He ready to go.
No,
he's on the timer.
Take Kobe out. Send a new link and let's talk about the power that at
girl, it's Sunday night. 90 Day Fiance is on.
That reality stuff. That ain't even real.
I got to go. 90 Day Fiance is on.
This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about the power of the P after all the business next week is taken care of first, because I don't want to combine both of those on the platform.
Right. You can't talk about the power of the P next week. That's out.
Oh, you gotta wait till she comes back. She says she's not gonna be
there. Don't do it.
That's better.
In fact,
okay, I got
that. As a new proprietor, but as someone bringing people into this group chat to talk, I'm asking you to please stay away from topics that involve me while I'm not here. So now, I really suggest you get these people do a show next week about voting.
We'll definitely do that.
I'm trying to figure out how tonight's show.
I totally forgot you say you wasn't working on next week.
I'm not working next week
about voting. Especially since
y'all do need to do a show next week about voting. And I really think y'all should do that because of what Dee said about the men not choosing to vote.
I agree. We're gonna do that.
So yes, and I don't want to be on that panel, but I do think y'all need to talk about that. And I'm going.
We get it in. We get it in when we talk about politics. So yeah, we definitely get it in.
Mark said this must be the bread pudding with the rum sauce dessert right before the nightcap, and he says y'all trying to get me to reopen the after party.
I like it. Bring Mark in.
Hey, Slash, I think we should do that after thing because that's a great topic to do it on, the power of the P, and I'm gonna drop the mic on this because Kobe he's ready to go.
Yeah, but we gotta talk about both sides, right? Because there's a such thing.
We're gonna talk about both sides, but I specifically want to I specifically want to talk about how men get all caught up in the power of the P.
Yes.
And they go to big acting strange, doing
kings
strange
have denounced thrones over it. They have gone to war over it.
So it's a great topic to get into. I think we should do that in the after hour type situation.
I think that would be great. Marcus, you have been really dedicated to coming on here. I think if you're available, I think we would like some viewer engagement on it outside of our own. Great. So if you'd be willing and brave enough to come on and join us live, I think we would love to have.
And we'll do it after Earth gets back in town.
Yeah. So that could be like 2 weeks from now.
We'll definitely do. Well, I appreciate y'all letting me have the mic for a little bit after.
You are so welcome.
Thank you so
much. Mean, even though it's your show, women, the women are the ones that draw the folks in. Every promoter knows that you bring the women to the spot first, and then that's when all the men come and they spend the money.
The marketing plan was me. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Lishane talking about she wants to join as well.
That's all good. It's a party. It's all good. It's gonna be late night. So we got to set a time for that. We got to set a time when this
will be the conversation continues. We'll do it. Yes, I think we should do it.
Yeah, I want to do that power of the thing. And let me tell you something about that show. Let's make sure that we take the link that says the power of the P, Let's like it and let's share it often, and ask the people who we're sharing it with to share it with somebody else. Bring somebody to church with you.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. Good stuff.
Bring
So we'll get at it 15
furniture.
minutes after the hour. Kobe, is Ursula's fault and Shannon's fault.
You don't want to ask to stay over. Don't do me like that. Don't have him thinking about me like that. He knows I would not do that to him.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So until next week, man, really appreciate that. We you can actually catch us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Taylor Kennedy TV, TaylorKennedyOnline.com. KENNEDIE. Good stuff.
Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, Marcus, thank you. We would love to have you. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to have an after show about that topic. So just be prepared for that.
Oh, good. All to the good. All to the
you
good.
too,
Like and share,
Lishane.
folks.
All right. Thanks. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
You guys be epic.
Bye-bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.